Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be for you, and welcome back to our Intenz playthrough, The Adventures of Michael, Part 3. Took a little break after Part 2. There are now 48 people on the server, and it's about 10 to 3 in the afternoon, 1450 hours. We're in the trees, past Kamyshovo, before Elektro. Let me just make sure our video options are as we like. They are. So we're going to continue on, hopefully, towards that isolated cabin above the military tents, where the idea would be to cook up the pumpkin. Eat as much as we can to make room in the bag, and also make sure, we get some more stamina. I'm still committing to getting rid of this bag eventually. Do me a solid. Drop a like on the video. It really gives me the motivation to carry on the series and fully invest. I'm really enjoying doing this. We're only into part 3, and maybe ask me when we're at part 10 if I'm still enjoying it as much. But going back to the old school, this is what we were putting up on the channel when we had like 300-400 subs, and people seem to really enjoy these more chill playthroughs. Proper survival, if you like. Proper DAYZ, quote unquote. And I am enjoying it. More so than if I would be streaming Intenz. I've got to admit. Now it is sunny. It stopped raining. Do I take that opportunity to wring out some of my clothes? Are they still sopping wet? They are. So this will give us slightly more stamina. It'll also help with the insulation, our temperature. God, that bird is loud. We've got a very loud bird above us in the tree. I won't do any Wine Street Swansea jokes. Drenched balaclava. Let's wring that out. We can't wring out these gloves, so we'd have to dry them in front of a fire. Pretty sure the cowboy hat is the same. But I think if you ask me what's my plan in my mind, and obviously you've got to be adaptable in DayZ, particularly on Intenz, got to be able to switch plans the flick of a switch. It would be go to the cabin in the woods, cook up the pumpkins, eat as much as possible. Maybe we'll have to carry some with us still, but make some room so that we've got room in the bag to loot up the summer camp. Maybe the military for some more 45, although it will be risky going in there. Not just for the fact that we haven't got the survival instinct perk, so if we're knocked uncon, that would be us. Game over. Yes, a couple of our things are still soaking. Let's get away from this bird in the tree. Jesus. But, the military tents could give us a chance of 45. I tell you another option. We're not far away here now. If you go down this path, we should hit the church above Elektro. And just to the right of the cemetery are 2 houses that can spawn hunting gear. So potential shotty, but top of the shopping list would be a gun cleaning kit. So we could clean up this F&X mag. Less chance of it jamming on us in a gunfight. Realise we're 2 for 2. A kill in each episode so far. I mean, that's not exactly how I thought this would go, this series, particularly as we're trying to value our life and not take risks. To be fair, we were jumped for the first kill. Second kill was our choice. Rip to Dave and Grant. While we're walking, let's neck another bottle of water. Really keep on top of that hydration and our stats, our vitals. There are a lot of people who get an electro spawn, particularly people who know the map well, will know about these houses up here spawning hunting gear. And with our mental state being chunked, we don't really want to kill someone now without having antidepressant medication on us. Because if we hit yellow mental state, we might start giggling and It's manageable, but it's a little bit annoying. I've got to be honest. We don't want to hit red mental state and start throwing up gang signs and shooting the weapon involuntarily. Look at this view over the top of Elektro. I can usually judge it so that we come out right above this stilted house. Now we've hit white food and white water again, that's good. Very nice. Yeah, I'm a little bit jumpy. I feel like we've got so much gear on us. Oh, I came out a bit wrong. A bit more this side. A little bit jumpy. Oh, we've caught cold. Unbelievably. We have got a couple of Nurofen on us, which I believe are level 1 pain and cold medicine. Our immunity's ranked up as well. Chemical poisoning, bruises, influenza resistance. I'm just going to take that, and I'm probably going to take sepsis resistance as well. It's a nice couple to have early doors. Well, we got rid of that cold already. I want to overwatch a little bit. But also I don't want to spend too much time here. So it's like, you just go in, gun-ho. Army pouch. Not interested at the minute. Still got too much gear on us. You might have heard that notification through the audio. Apologies if that made you jump. Our new IRL sub there. Thank you very much for that. Might have just tipped us to 5.6 at the time of recording. 5.6k. GG's. So there wasn't a lot in there. The hiking jacket would be nice if we didn't already have this jacket on. It does have more slots than this quilted, but the magenta blue, or whatever you would call that colour, electric blue, cyan, would give you away a lot more, I think, in the trees. Bags all over the place here. Shut the door behind us. Oh, look at that. Another mountain backpack. I prefer the blue to the orange. Okay. Better compass. Take that all day long. It's actually readable now. Other than the bag, if we hadn't already got a mountain backpack and we needed space, that would have been huge. But other than that, not great. Let's check this toilet block. It's an actual map. Okay, not great, but they were worth dipping into, just on the off chance of a gun cleaning kit. Let's stick to the trees, and we're going to go past the summer camp. That's the plan. Past the military. You know, unless we see someone stood on a car, making it the most, the easiest kill of our lives. We want to avoid everything and head straight to that log cabin. But we're going to keep an eye, Zombies down on the road. I'm going to keep the pistol in my hand, because if anybody else is being quote-unquote careful and sticking to the trees, if we bump into someone up here, I want to at least want a chance to shoot back straight away. Just had some food IRL, lunchtime. So if I have to take a little break to have a sip of water, sit in a bush, I do apologise. It's all about the chill, yeah? All about the chill. ASMR DAYZ, sir. Oof. Suits you, sir. We're going to have to go slightly towards the main dirt road because of these rocks. But we'll head back into the trees as soon as we can. All about being careful and valuing the life this playthrough. We want to try and make smart decisions. We already fumbled bigly, really, with that first kill. Even though we got the kill, we shouldn't have died in that situation. If I'd have relied on my instincts, and I did hear that guy outside, but I doubted myself. And I reckon if I'd have had the gun in my hands, as soon as we saw him at the door, we could have blasted him. But there you go. It is what it is. We see some poor sod in the middle of the road in his inventory. It's going to be difficult not to have a pop. it would go against all my instincts to avoid the conflict, but maybe training myself to play this more cautiously way will at least make it more interesting for me. Although we just ran in Kamashova and executed that poor dude. When he rolled over and woke up, I just watched it back to make sure the recording was okay. Just shot him in the ass. Finished him off in the ass, sir. Pause. I always see those white logs in the distance, and I think it's like a stash or a crate under a tree. They just seem to be much more brighter than everything else. This will be the last one I record sort of back to back. We've done the first 3 episodes in the same sitting on a Wednesday. And because it's getting late in the day in the server, it'll probably be getting a bit overcast as we hit the hour mark on this. Whatever happens. It'll then be probably a full week IRL before we get into episode 4 recording. So we lose a bit in terms of everyone else is on the server, getting their gear, getting their bases, blah, blah, blah. So even if we take this all the way through the wipe, we're not actually going to be playing more than 8 to, well, no, more like 12, 11 or 12 sit-ins, if that makes sense. We could potentially, if we went all the way to the end of the wipe, be in surplus of 25, 30 episodes, if there's an appetite for it. See if we can see anyone dipping in and out of the cabins. Also want to be aware of people maybe overwatching from the bushes, looking to get an easy kill. I really want to hit that medical on the way back, though. Where we go after that, I don't know. We haven't got that far ahead in the plan. Now, I could cross using this bridge and then check a couple of fishing boats that are on the way to the red stilted for hooks and maybe sodas, and stick to the side that we want to be on, completely avoiding the military. Looks quiet over there. Quiet up ahead. Make sure no one's on the main road jogging towards us. If someone's in the summer camp, they may see us up on top of this bridge if they're alert. Can't see any smoke there. Zombies in the gully. We're going to sprint this bit. Little zigzaggy. Using up precious little stamina that we've got. But and I can see chill zombies there, that's all. Can't see anyone obviously fishing or anything. There's a nice quiet spot to fish. Let's put the gun away in case somebody spots us first and thinks, ooh, gun in the hand, murderer. Let's snipe him. Sometimes people will have morals. What about morals? And if you haven't got a gun in your hand, some people won't have a shot at you. They might come up and talk. Might not. They might not care. But, you know, if it gives you a couple of percentage less chance of being shot at by someone you don't even know is there. Put it away, son. Put it away. Can't see any smoke or anything from the stilted. Didn't want to get the feet wet. Can't see anyone's head bobbing around the windows. Didn't get anything off these boats. Feels like they've been hit up, to be honest. Popular place to cook, fish and cook this is. Particularly on this server. Oh, look at this. We will take that all day long. Little spritzer. We're going to head towards the stream to stay away from the military. Maybe we hit the military on the way back. Maybe we just have an overwatch. We'll see. But without survival instinct, it's always a risk going into an area like that. You just get glitched on a doorway of a tent, something like that, and then it's game over, you know? What a terrible way to take a death it would be. Just from being kicked to death when you're on the floor unconscious by the Zeds. We're on the right side of the stream now for the log cabin. No lockpick. So we're going to have to defend our territory. Keep our ears pricked. There's someone pushing our location. The smoke is difficult to see. It would only be somebody going there that they know about the area. It looks like chilled zombies at the military. They would have to know about the cabin and want to loot it themselves. It can spawn hunting loot. But when they get closer, you then would be able to see smoke. And, you know, if they push us, we're going to have to be ready to roll with the F and X. Can't afford to take any more bullet damage or anything, though. You'd be back in Dave territory. Here's the log cabin. No smoke coming from the top. Plenty of trees for us to get firewood. Close. I feel like we've made too much noise already. Zero loot. No one's had a fire. Ah, 3 rounds of 45. In the jacket, sir. Do that all day. But what I want to do, leave the bag here. Let's cut these up with that. It'll get it off our inventory probably then. So it's only 5 pumpkins. Two long sticks will be fine. Shit. Without the bag, we haven't got the space to hold it. At least with this building, you've got 2 doors between you and the intruder. So, you know, you hear that door going, then they've got to open that door before they get to you, and you should be able to pull your gun out in time. What I don't want to do is start the fire before we're ready to put food on, because A, you're burning through your wood, and also the smoke's coming out the chimney giving you away. Any of flares we can use to get it going as well. Did I have any kindling? I haven't, I don't think. Oh yeah, I have. Paper. Something looked ruined then when I scanned over it. No. I hope no one pushes us while we're doing this, because we're stuck in the animation until we get the fire going. I should have chopped up a pumpkin first as well. Big mistake. Did we get that going first time? Mm-hmm. Even if we can eat a couple of these pumpkins, we can carry the rest. We don't want to stay around this fire for too long. This is where we're most vulnerable. In the animations. I should put that on my back, actually, for a minute. Although it kills us with stamina, doesn't it? I'm not going to talk as much because I'm trying to listen out for footsteps. Especially when I'm cutting up the pumpkin, stuck in the animation. When I got my gun out, I'll feel a bit better. I don't think anyone can boost up and get an angle. See if someone pushes that door now. Bum, 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 bum. We've got a chance. Chance. Once we hear that first door go, we're up ready. That second door goes, even if they lean in with a shotgun, yeah, they might get us, but I'm hoping, bum, 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 we can just get a bit lucky, you know? Maybe they've got a repeater, a pistol, they don't land the shot. Hyper cautious. We'll be looking to leave, go to a safe tree, and then eat. If we can fit this all back in. Super paranoid. See how many we can fit in. One more. So we gotta do some munching before we can leave this house. Because of our capacity. How's that though? Because we had it all fitted in anyway. God knows. When we're eating, we're going to be vulnerable. Getting a nice heat buff. Should be drying off our stuff here in front of the fire as well. So you want to eat one, get the gun out straight away. I want to drop them on the floor, right? So I could pull the gun out, and there's enough room. Watch now, someone pushes the door. Gun out, because the pumpkin can go in there now. Before, we wouldn't have had any room for it. Bags on the floor, it's full anyway. And we would have had to hold G on the keyboard to drop the pumpkin, then press 2 to pull the gun out instead of just pressing 2. So a quick tip there, if you're cooking, make sure the thing you're eating, make sure you've got room for it in your inventory. Right. So the edible one's out, them one's in. +2 buff now. Two more slices and we can go. Trouble is we might get full. We don't want to overeat to be sick and lose all this goodness. Could be alright, yeah. In terms of the eating anyway. We are going to need to sleep again soon. I can hopefully do that in between episode 3 and 4 though. We should be alright for the next half an hour. of this episode. Yeah, the stamina's already much better, especially with drying off our clothes. Now just assume someone's lurking on you. And shut the door behind me, because if somebody goes and sees that fire now in the next 3 minutes, they may assume someone's still inside with the door shut and mess about, faff about, trying to push a fire where there's not even anybody there. I'm going high up into this tree so I can have a sip of water IRL, and then we're going to eat some more pumpkin. Alright, with a beautiful view down to the Millie. Look at this. Great little view there, isn't it? I didn't realize this was an angle. If you had a long-range rifle with a good enough scope, something you could zero in on, rangefinder ideally, a lot of people, particularly on this server, where the zombies are tougher and will mess you up, will jump on that Humvee to fight the military zombies, call them all in at one sitting. Have the easiest snipe of your life. Have to remember that, future self. How are we looking? Perfect. Every one we eat now is a 2x2 slot of space saved in the inventory for potential loot down at the hunting camp, which has a medical, of course. Very, very low on medical supplies. Oh, we're full. Yeah, one more slice and we'd have enough room for an electrical repair kit, a gun cleaning kit, leather kit. Wonder how far away we are from that Millie. Seeing if there were any wider angles that are not totally obscured. Not really. What's the view from this tree like? Or that one? Looks down into the entrance. Yeah, it's pretty obscured. Now there is a zombie down there, but we're definitely within range. I would say. We walked past them earlier, remember? I would say, what would you say? Timestamp it. 28 minutes in. Without a rangefinder. What would you say we are down to that road? I'm trying to think of when me and Trick allegedly sit in the tree above Nadazino. We're looking down at the PD, which is like 380 away, and the zombies despawn, sorry, when nobody is within 350. And I'm thinking it doesn't look that different. And why is that zombie still down there if that is the case? Rangefinder definitely high on the shopping list. Maybe at the summer camp? It's unlikely, but not impossible. Just crept down a bit closer then, obviously. If we saw someone, what would we do? Depends how geared they looked, you know? Another slice saved in the inventory space and cooked. It's huge calories. We should be up close to full apple after this. Come on. Probably the top well of Elektro would be the best place to fill up with water. I'm thinking then where would we want to go? Elektro Hospital. It's not the best hospital. It hasn't got any other surrounding buildings that spawn medical loot. It's only got the car outside. One car. And obviously a hotspot Elektro. Great place to get murdered. So I'm thinking of avoiding Elektro. Heading more, maybe fill up at the top well. Heading along the tree line towards Sprig. And then going up to Mogilevka summer camp. Through the trees over the hill. There's again, gun cleaning kits, range finders, potential good stuff, and another medical, which is sort of low-key, more low-key than the main hospital itself in Elektro, you know? Let's get another pumpkin slice out of our bag. If we could get a first aid kit from the medical, it would be huge. Put all our stuff in there, and it would be 3x3 slots or whatever it is, 4x4, but then you can carry a lot more, as you're all probably aware. There is a jump you can do. I think we'll have enough stamina to do it as well, over the barbed wire at the back end of the camp here, near the pub. So then we could just cross the bridge, or go around, sorry, to the medical, not cross the bridge of death, if you want to cross that bridge. There's usually a ton of zombies lurking under the bridge, like a grumpy old troll. Got to give it the old billy goat scruff, and all of a sudden you've like aggroed 7 zombies, and again that could be the end of us without the perk. Chimney stack of Elektro in the distance. We should be sort of parallel with the pub. There it is. Or is that? Yeah, that is the pub. You don't have to do the jump though. You can just go around here. There's a nice gap in the fence. I always think those bloody broken down trees are logs or stumps are players. God damn it. There's one of those white things again that I always think is drop loot. See? Just the base of an old tree. Look how bright it is. This is a hot spot, okay? I can see quite a couple of zombies the way that I wanted to go, that gap in the fence. That's annoying. Chilled zombie at the back of the pub is a good sign. I'm not averse to killing them now we've got stamina. And I'm looking to see if we've got player movement on the other side. Let's bring Grandad onto us. Whoa, Jeremy Corbyn. That's nice. Nice we can deal with the zombies with 2 hits again. 1 power hit. 1 small strike. What I want to do, clear this before we deal with the other zombie and have a quick peek out the window. Looks clear of players. Obviously we can hear the zombie. Oh, not the brightest zombie. Glow stick, excellent. There we go. Finally wakes up. Survival up to 3. We're heading towards that magical 5 mark. Durable equipment, I think sounds good to me. Once you hit level 5 on survival, you need 2 skill points though to activate. So when we hit level 4, what we do is we don't use the perk point, we keep it, we save it up. And then when we hit level 5, we'll have 2 ready to immediately activate survival instinct. And oh, look at this. Shotgun. Which is bugged by the looks of it. Well, there we go, we can finally take it. No ammo. But it's a single loading shotgun. If we could get green slugs, it would give us our first ranged weapon. Well, more range than a pistol anyway. Not even a red slug would be good, wouldn't it? Nice little hip fire, close quarters. Now can we navigate our way across to this medical, killing the zombies but not dragging too many on us at the same time? Medical doors are closed this side. Bit wary of that. There we go. We want this zombie to come down to us into the ditch. Perfect. We're looking if someone's coming from Elektro. They're likely to come that way, jump the fence, start looting. This side of the medical is open. And we're not creeping in, we're just wading in. Closing the doors and getting ready to shoot immediately. We've got iodine. Ooh, amphotericin. Let me know in the comments. Does anyone know what that does? Somebody has told me before on stream and I've forgotten. I've got to be honest. Now we can see all sorts of meds here. Novocaine, I believe, is for like level 2, level 3 pain. No syringe, but alcohol we don't need. But we keep the Novocaine. Obviously, the medical zombies themselves can drop loot, so it is worth killing them if you can. Oh, wow. We'll have a look at that in a second. I only briefly got a glance of the name. Rhombiopental. Answers on a postcard. What does it do? Just drag the zombie inside. Taking unnecessary hits. I don't like it. Got away with it. Did see a red medical zombie up there. Here we go. Oh, a green one. Now, risky, but I'm going to search it. What if it drops a syringe or something else tasty? Didn't, but it could. So I think it's worth it with them. Combo. I want that red zombie over here. On their own. Come on. Tanked way more than I thought they would. Really risky looting it. Unbelievable. Blood test kit. I could use it. I can see Ross telling me use it. Farm the medical. Just test your blood, it gives you points. Alright, son, alright. It's only a little prick. That's the test. What are we? A positive, nice. Now, hunting knife. Badly damaged, but good. Still good. Any blades are good on this server. Fantastic, in fact. I was hoping for a cheeky box of green slugs, but you can't have everything. Come on, son. I'm gonna put you down and leave. Alright, we got Novocaine. We didn't get a syringe. We got some other medication. I'm not sure what it does, I've got to be honest. Even though somebody has told me what that other injector does. And I've just had a thought, Gibby, before you dive into the comments. You might already have. We can turn that injector into a syringe. Something I didn't know about until Gibby told me on stream one day. And I keep forgetting it. Bit of the old timers, I'm afraid. I keep forgetting that it is a thing. So we can turn this syringe, this injectable, sorry, that we don't really need, into a syringe that we certainly do need. Not that one. This one. See? Convert into syringe. And now if we get level 2 pain, say we get a deep wound, we can pop ourselves with Novocaine and at least leave the area. Yeah? As we're moving, let's make some more room in the inventory. We're heading towards the upper well of Elektro. Still not completely safe of an area, but safer than the one in the main town next to the PD that we all know and love. May have been on a roof nearby there. May have. See the room we've made now? I'm tempted to drop, but I really want any utility that we can keep on us. It's very hard to let a crowbar, a saw, a blade of any sort go on this server. When it's so hard to survive, when you get so little from fishing early doors, you need to catch so many fish just to make it worth your while cooking them. You guys will know, the regulars, that I like to dry the fish. Seem to get more of a percentage, more of a calorie intake doing it that way. And my plan is to avoid those row of houses to the left and head towards the well up through the tree line. Again, being more cautious this playthrough. In theory, anyway. And our stamina's dropped a bit because we've now got a shotgun on our back, as well as our fishing rod. Triple check that it's empty. I thought it was. It's pristine. It makes us look more of a threat because people will notice the gun on our back. But we're not going to turn a shotgun down when at the moment all we've got is a pistol with a damaged mag. We didn't get the gun cleaning kit that we wanted, which is a shame. And we haven't actually been involved in a gunfight or a fight of any sorts yet in part 3. So is this going to be the first completely chill episode where we're just out there surviving? And look at that, we eat our last bit of pumpkin and we hit full white apple. It's a beautiful sight to behold. When we chug a couple of bottles of water up here now, we'll be well on the way to being full water. Now there are a couple of deer stands on the way. One is right in front of us now, so you know damn well we're going to loot that. And like I say, the next episode, because I'm thinking ahead, unless we die in the next sort of 15 to 20, we sip at the well, we log somewhere safe. Next episode, we're heading towards Prig. Another relatively safe well, where we should only bump into freshies. Should. And then on towards the Mogilevka summer camp. I do believe, because of the wipe, we might be able to loot. We might be able to loot the castle, Zub Castle, unless that's been turned into a base again, which would be unfortunate. But that would be a possibility. I'm starting to think then of Novi Stari, heaven forbid. We could at least get a box of shotgun shells so we could deal with the pack of wolves. Especially if we get lucky and we can get on top of a vehicle or a hay bale. We could start thinking about going where all the big boys go. Pause. Now I've got a rough idea of the direction we're going to hit this well near the mustache and the beige. We'll have a look in those houses as well if we can. But it's a rough idea. Look behind us now and again. It's something I don't do, I've got to be honest. Oh, we got another perk to play with. Proper breathing. I feel like we just do proper breathing. We'll probably go in order when it comes to the athleticism. If we can go past the barns, the red stilted, that if we literally go very close by it, we'll loot them, because they can spawn some really good stuff. but I'm not going to go out of my way. The closer we go to dirty Elektro, the bigger the chance we end up in a confrontation. And I know we're 2 for 2 at the minute, although we bled out long term after our conflict with Dave. That's a win. We won that one. We're 2 for 2. Grant didn't stand a chance. Or Grant Khan. Thought I heard footsteps then, as in someone sprinting, like they'd looted this. We are going to go in and have a look. Be in a bit of a predicament if we found a crossbow. I would probably take it, to be honest, because we haven't got ammo for the shotgun, unless we find some in here. But if we had a crossbow, we would only be a chicken away from getting some feathers. If we've already got feathers in the cooking, in the frying pan, actually. I'm pretty sure we got feathers. So we could make our own improvised bolts and, you know, good against zombies, decent against players. Even wolves. Right, let's get rid of these zombies. One at a time, ideally. Not loot them, because we're in an empty field, an open field, sorry. But I want to keep my head on a swivel. It's getting dark. Same as usual, I'm not putting the gamma on. I want you to see what I'm seeing. But the immersion. Come on, Grandad. Give it a rest. Aim nice and high. Guarantee the head hitbox. Put him down. Real nice. See the way I'm approaching Grandad there? 1 footstep at a time until we aggro him. Then I'm retreating. Oh. Deal with him alone. I remember Granny's over there somewhere. And wait for my stamina to rebuild before dragging the aggro. I think in World of Warcraft they call it pulling, don't they? Oh no, I've accidentally pulled too much AI at once, you know? Pull the AI, the zombies, onto one at a time and be wary of the vicinity in which they aggro from. And just edge forward. 1 little footstep at a time until they go bleh and start fixating on you. Always check behind the hay bales, because if someone's going to die and bleed out like we did in episode 1, they might leave a stash behind the hay to come back to. There's not a lot of people who'll check it. We might have some new shoes there. Yeah, they're worn. Okay, that's nice. No stashes. Shed out here. Red stilted. Metal pipe is useless. I'm getting paranoid off my own footsteps, I think. I don't want to get in a position again where I wish I'd trusted my gut. Oh man, looks like trash loot. Oh. It is not trash loot. It is an improvement. It's a double barrel, ladies and gents. Huge win. And a chocolate bar. Little chocky bar. Let's get up into the trees. Empty double barrel, I believe. We will double check. But very, very nice. Now we're in a position to do some damage, defend ourselves at a fire, as long as we can get some ammo for it. So it was well worth diverting to that little area. Yeah, as always, they don't tend to spawn in with loot or with shots in them. Our clothing is wet. That's not helping when it comes to our stamina. I've noticed that's dropped from about 70 to about the 50% it is at the moment. I want to hit this deer stand. That rabbit scared the shit out of me wherever it is. We're definitely not wasting bullets on a rabbit. If we had an MK2, we would. We ain't going loud for a rabbit. I'm pulling the gun out because if somebody has saw the deer stand from the bottom of the hill, they could be heading up to it, but from the opposite angle. So we get here. Oh, there's a guy. Always get ready. Where there could be people, there could be problems. And there is a dropped can of rotten canned bacon that doesn't spawn in the area that it is in. So someone has found that and gone, no thanks. Probably wise. Even with food poison medication, you can make yourself very, very ill. Unless you know what you're doing and you get lucky with the RNG whilst you're nibbling your bacon. Slowly. The innuendos. And I'm roughly heading towards the beige and the mustache, which has the well next to it. And we want to finish off a nice chill episode where we found a double barrel, which is nice. We found some bits and pieces back down at the other summer camp medical. Not much, but enough. Our first syringe. Our first decent vial of medication, Novocaine, although it's only got one use. Pulling the gun out again because we're close to our target. There it is. And of course it's only one of 2 wells in the town. So, and if anyone's got a brain on them, like us, they're thinking, let's go to the quiet well, the one at the top. So in fact, thinking outside of the box can be counterproductive if 2 or 3 of you are thinking in the same fashion. So gun in hand, if it's a complete freshie, we're likely to avoid conflict, going loud. But if they look like they've got anything on them or they make a move to pull a weapon, we would be going to town, especially as we're full mental state again. Oh, what I wouldn't do to find a couple of slugs for this shoddy. Absolutely nothing, but someone's had a fire recently. Got themselves a buff or drived off their clothes. Fair play. Fair play to them. They're out here surviving. So we certainly want to clear this beige before filling up well. Lockers. Someone has found lockers and just put them there with a raincoat in. Okay. As you do. Drink one, take one. That's what I want to do. Without being clipped. Drink one, take one. Would be a big dub. Alright. We can drink that second one at our leisure when we're away from the well and trouble. I want to check in this shed because it can spawn shotguns. If my memory is correct. Probably not, but, you know. Look at that. Sawed off blaze. Disgusting. Wouldn't take it if you paid me. If it were a full-size blaze, maybe. And I say maybe because 308, scarce. Bit like BK ammo. Scarce. And with a sawn-off blaze, you can't even ADS. You can only hip-fire it, so it's not even any good for hunting animals. Maybe you could get a sheep, a goat, or a cow with it, I suppose. But, come on. Whoever saws off a blaze, they need to give their head a serious wobble. And I notice we're approaching 54 minutes on the video now, so we're going to head up into the tree line before we get too close to the fresh spawn area down there and get clocked by somebody with a pipe wrench in a dream. Or even worse, a sledgy in a dream. And when we get back in, start of the next episode, we're going to have to wring out our clothes. Make sure you let me know in the comments that you're still enjoying this series. I hope you've already tickled the like button. It really helps other people who may not know anything about our peasant little channel get eyes on the videos that they might love, you know? The old Intenz videos used to go down a treat. Trials of Terry, aka The Legend. So hopefully people would enjoy the rebirth of Michael, because we did do a Michael series in the winter before, and he Novichoked himself and jumped off a crane, I believe in Chernogorsk. So people might be asking questions about how he's alive again. Don't look too deep into it. Resurrected, isn't it? Lazarus. Michael Lazarus. Should have called my character name that, shouldn't I, instead of Michael Codfather. I might log under you. We're a little bit exposed. But we'll call it. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you're enjoying still, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out. Bye-bye.